very much. My name is Eugene Rurangwa. I'm Rwandese by nationality, but I'm an official of FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And I have been privileged to represent FAO in this important conference. I have been nominated by my authorities to represent FAO to this important event. I have really been impressed by this event. First of all, because the topic is very important, yet people don't speak much about it. And Eritrea has taken the role or the initiative of organizing a conference on organic fertilizer, because this topic is very important. As the first day the minister said, to take care of soil is fundamental. Healthy soil allow us to produce more and better. It helps us to produce sufficient and safe, nutritious food for our communities. This is very important. Taking care of soil also, taking care of health, of soil health, it helps also to conserve or to improve environment. This is also very important. Almost 40% of sub-Saharan African soils are degraded because of erosion, deforestation, malpractices, farming practices, and it is important to reverse this fact. And to reverse it, it's just to think about improving soil by adding more organic matters. And this is done through organic fertilizer. This is very important. So if I can summarize what I have seen, first of all, is to say, wow, this is something fantastic. Because what I have seen, Eritrea has many researchers. Agriculture can't move without research in agriculture. I have seen that all presentations from experts mainly from Eritrea, they have shown how it is important to add organic fertilizer in soils, and they have demonstrated how best it is. With fact, this is very important. So the research, the good thing is that they show results, they have facts to show that this is really very important. And this helps people to abide, to follow the guidelines that is in place.
أبز وانزي مجمرة أنا تم منستر هابت بحرين منستري حرشان بتاعهم مسكونة مدلي منياتو بقعات زخون أبالات عداليوم درون أبزي جنفر جيروم أباتس عمالتيو مرمرن جيروم درون أب فتنة ناي مفراي يركوبلو مالتي أتي نحنا ناي بحريس أهاي مس أتي طرف دلو ناي عسا كمون زخون شكورا وخصاي ويتعرف ناي قلت ناي شكور مسرح زترفه مالتي مولاسس حاويسك عابي وتصيد دلو بحري أو دخعي كم مسرحهم دخل أتغيرهم يعني حجم تاي تريفنا زلو نزي ناب اندستري درجة كم يجرنا نعبي تحط زلو أبزون بزن بتن كل حنا تحققنا مستم أولات معايرناون مدبات نوت علينا مالتي حجي تلاقي خون زخل أب جرمن زلو نانا محجوت مالتي كان بعد مستر أمتر ንሳቶም ዝኣምሰሉ ኣብቲ ተመክሮ ስለ ዘለዎም ወናንቲ ሚኒስተር ኣምቶር ኣጋጣሚ ኮይኑውን ወናኒ ትካል ስለ ዝኾነ ናይ ከምዚ መስርሕ ንኽተሓባበረና ብተግባራውን ኣብዛ ዓዲምና ያለና ማለት እዩ ሕጂ ንሕና እሱ ጥራሕ እውን ብኡ ጌርና ኣይንዓግብን ኢና እቲ ንሕና ኮሌጅስ ኣብ ዘለውን ምስቲ ኣብ ጀርመን ዘሎ ኮሌጅስም ክንራኽቦም ኢና ስለዚ ዕሙቕ ዝበለ ሰፊሕ ዝኾነ ንነዊሕ ውሕስነ ዝህብ ምርምር ከዓ ክካየድ እዩ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ኣብዚ እዋን እዚ እቲ ንዓና ብጣዕሚ ዝሕጉስ መንግስትና ሓልየቱ ልዑል ስለ ዝኾነ እቲ ብዓድና ዝፈሪ ምግቢ ብትሕዝቶ ቪታሚን ይኹን ብትሕዝቶኡ ኩነታት ኩሉ ይኹን ካብ ዝኾነ ይኹን ነገር መርዚ ነፃ ዝኾነ ብጣዕሚ ዝነኣድ ፍርያት ናይ ኣሕምልቲ ይኹን ናይ እንስሳ ሃብቲ ይኹን ወዘተ ፀባ ይኹን ንምፍራይ ፃዕርታት የካይድ ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ ንሕና ሓሳብና እንታይ እዩ ኣጋጣሚ ኮይኑ እዚኣ ሕጂ ብዕብይ ዝበለ ፋብሪካ ደረጃ እንዳ ክትስራሕ እቲ ናታ ደረጃ ከዓኒ ብኢንተርናሽናል ስታንዳርዳይዝ ወይ ከዓ ኤክስፖርት ብቕዓት ዘለዎ ክኸውን እዩ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ እቲ ውሽጣዊ ዘሎ ዕዳጋ ምስ ተረጋግአ ክሳብ ሕጂ ኣጋጣሚ ኮይኖም ከመስግኖም ዘለና ነዞም ኣባላት ኣብዚ መስርሕ ዝዋስኡ ዘለዉ ወይ መንግስትና ክሳብ ሕጂ እቲ ፍርያት ድኩዒ ፈሳሲ ውፅኢቱን ولا تي دخعون كأوزوات بنزع يخدل ثانية أمنو حقنا لعول سرح منتي كمسرح تتكال نقدن كأني بقطعون بنفسه من تخخل من قصنا قدام يوافق مسجبره حجي بمسرح تمسرحه كشيتي مالدي مسجت بمول وكابتشاف نفتشاف زول أبي إرتراز زول كلهم حرستوت نايزي وتسيدزي تتأكم تخونيه إذا مس بعثيرو داعم مستعجبن مسترجعن ماني نتخاون العالي زفرد ماني إذا تكال زبقة عسل زلوا ولا بكال فيز ون وسيخو نإكسبورت كا نتزاي ماله إذا نبي إكسبورت الحكومة خاني كربا مجمرة زلوا حجرة قرابتنا بمول إنكابزي كوز ولا ندوبيك خيد خيلي السعودية خيد خيلي ونيثيوبيا خيد خيلي وزته مالتي أتي زعينة فريات ماني ولا أبي أوروباون نزز دوليو بتاعمي بحاجة زلهم مزحت هلو هجين إحنا انتهينا نحجز بحثيرو أب حدش مدرخنا هيدا لنا بزعب هزيناي بحرياو دخل إزم الكت حتى أمون عالم ولا تم أوروبا كترفه مع التوي سكوفلو تحسوا من أشجار نخوني لما مسكده حجي نتمرت رح مبلشاو ديكونا زي بتي بقعد ديكونا أو حملتن فرثاتن ولا سجان سبان زخيد إتهزبون بتعنو يقول دأس لزلوا حجي إتبومون وكتاخت بالدخاء تتنق أنا تتنق أوج تغير زلوا كم يجيرنا نتبهرياوي دخلن مقبن وكات مريتات حنا نبز حشن وخد مالتي أنا حجي أقام إرتراوي نبزي حد عابي بلش أنتهى لنا مريتنا جنا دنجل زلوا حجي إحنا هنتنقل زلنا تاعي بتناهاتهم جيجاتهم كابتناتهم جيجاتهم مهرنا نتنا هنا دنجل مريت كيف بلاشنا خلنا بقوانو بس حجي من قصنا نايب حقي بزنا أتبقى وزلوا نفت كبار الحجيرنا يو أبي عوض كنقونات سفينة مالتي فلذي إذا مريتنا خاني بالعول توري مريتن عبي فريات كيف زخل مهر تخل مريتن تداليو نولد تحتكا كنا ركبنا مالتي.
My name is Jürgen Amthor. Ich komme aus Deutschland. Ich spreche jetzt auch Deutsch, weil es einfacher ist für mich, meine Gefühle auszudrücken, die ich jetzt in diesen 3 oder 4 Tagen, die sich bei mir aufgebaut haben. Ich bin das erste Mal in Eritrea und ich bin begeistert von dem Land, von den Menschen vor allen Dingen, aber auch von der Natur und von der Gastfreundschaft der Eritreer. Und ich fand die Konferenz richtig großartig. Also zum einen von der Organisation perfekt organisiert, auf die Minute alles. Ich fand es sehr schön und auch wichtig, dass die beide Minister da waren, sowohl der Landwirtschaftsminister als auch der Minister vom Fischereiministerium. Das zeigt, wie wichtig diese Konferenz für Eritrea ist. Und es hat mir gezeigt, oder ich habe gesehen, dass sehr viele kompetente Menschen eingeladen waren, für diesen Kongress und die Beiträge, die gebracht wurden zu dem Thema ökologischen Landbau, regenerative Landwirtschaft, einfach auf einem wahnsinnig hohen Level waren, was die Kompetenz der Vortragenden gezeigt hat. Und jetzt haben wir ja ein Programm hier am Meer, also auch das wunderschön. Ich habe eben auch schon dann Fermentationsprozesse hier gesehen. Also ich bin begeistert von dem Land und vor allen Dingen auch von den Ministerien, die erkannt haben, wie wichtig gesunde, lebendige Böden sind für ihr Land und die eben auch gesehen haben, und das hat der Kongress gezeigt, dass wir hier eine große Chance haben, weg von den chemischen Fertilizern und von Fungizid, Pestizid, Herbizid und Chemical Basic, dass wir Alternativen haben, um zum einen Böden, und wir haben tote Böden für mehrere Generationen aufzubauen und vor allen Dingen die Menschen gesund zu ernähren. Und das hat dieser Kongress gezeigt, und ich würde mir wünschen, dass in vielen Ländern auf dieser Welt das ebenso passieren würde, dass wir hier einfach aufzeigen können, Perspektiven für die Zukunft.
Another thing that impressed me actually that came from good leadership. You know, a country to be developed, it needs a very strong and visionary leadership. And I have seen it through 3 ministers who were there the whole day. The first day and the second day, the ministers were there. So it brings a kind of confidence among the participants, and it brings also confidence among researchers, among experts, to show them that what they are doing is really appreciated from the highest level. This is very important. It's like an encouragement for them.
ልክ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እንታይ እዩ መጀመርያ መንግስትና ናይ ባሓቂ ክንኣ ዘሎ ኣብ ኩሉ ዞባታትን እሱባትን ድሮኹማን ጎስጓሳቱ ኣብ ኩሉ ፋሕ ኣቢልዎ ኣሎ ሕጂ እቲ ምክልካል ናይዚ ብኬሚካል ዝመፅእ ፀረ ባልዕ ይኹን ወላ ካልእ ብጣዕሚ ኣገዳሲ እዩ እቲ ጥዕና እውን ምናልባሽ ኩሉ ሰብ እውን ዳርጋ ኮሚደረ ሕጂ ክትሽትታ ከለካ ገለገለ ትሽትተካ ኮይናሲ ዲዲቲ መስል ወይ ካልእ የሰከፈካ እዩ ጥዕናኻ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ እንታይ እዩ ህዝብና ከዓኒ ብተፈጥሮ ህዝብና እውን ፅፈትን ፅሬትን ስለ ዝፈቱ ነዚ ሕጂ ዝቐርበሉ ዘሎ ዕድላት ከም ዝጥቀሙሉ ኣነ 100% እርግፀኛ እየ ሕጂ እንታይ ይኸውን ዘሎ ብዛዕባ ትምህርቲ ዝምልከት ግን ዕሙቕ ዝበለ ትምህርቲ ስለ ዘድልዮም መንግስትና ከዓኒ ወላ በቲ ትሽዓተ ዘለዉ ቋንቋታት ናይ ብሄራትና ተርጊሙ ንኩሎም ብሄራትና መፅናዕቲ ወይ ከዓኒ ትምህርቲ ክህብ ማለት እዩ እዚ ትካል ኣብዚ ሕጂ ናይ ድኽዑ ገይሩ ዘለዉ ነዚ ከዓ ተዳልዩ ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እንታይ ፅቡቕ ዝሕጉሰካ እቲ ትምህርቲ ንኩሉ ስለ ዝኾነ ብሕልፊ መንግስትና ከዓ ንሕጂ ኣብቲ ሞኖካልቸር ኣይኮነ ዘድህብ ዘሎ ኣብ ስሞል ስኬል ፋርሚንግ ስሞል ስኬል ፋርሚንግ ብሓፂሩ ንኡስ ዝበለ ሕርሻ እንድሕር ክኸውን ኮይኑ ብስድራ ቤት ደረጃ ዝካየድ ሕርሻ ማለት እዩ ንዑ ዝኾን መሳርሕታት እውን ኣብዛ ዓዲ ንኽፈሪ ተበጉሶታት ኣሎ ናይ ነጠብጣብ ቴክኖሎጂ ካብ ዲዛይኒንግ በሙሉ ካብ ኤ ቱ ዜድ ማለት እዩ ምስ ቀረብ ኣቑሑት ተሪፍካ በሙሉ ከዓኒ ድሮ ተዳልዩ ኣሎ
Ich denke, der richtige Weg ist, die Prozesse zu optimieren, alles zusammenzubringen. Gesunder Boden hängt nicht von einem Teil ab, sondern gesunder Boden hängt mit mehreren, gesunde Pflanzen hängen von mehreren Aspekten ab. Und der Hauptaspekt ist eben Mikroorganismen, das ist der Teil der regenerativen Landwirtschaft, in die Böden zu bekommen, also wieder Leben in die Böden reinzubekommen, live in the soil. Wir brauchen das und wir brauchen gute Bakterien, die eben sicher sind, die geprüft sind, wo wir wissen, dass wir hier die optimale Wirkung haben. Und ich habe über 20 Jahre, fast 30 Jahre Erfahrung mit Mikroorganismen. Das ist mein Job, mit Mikroorganismen zu arbeiten. Und wir könnten hier helfen, und es muss schnell gehen, weil der Boden braucht Leben, könnten hier helfen, Fermentationsprozesse aufzubauen, dass wir die Böden wieder Leben bekommen und gesunde Pflanzen und gesunde Tiere und Menschen.
Okay, I understand from the perspective that Eritrea is still on track. It is still in its baby steps when it comes to organic fertilizer production and what have you. And I've heard as we were going in the trip that there was an exchange of experience from your side to them.
Ja.
Okay, so if you can tell me more about that.
Ja, der Austausch war natürlich sehr wichtig und sehr gut. Es waren ja vor 2 Jahren schon mal Leute aus Eritrea bei uns. Und die Basic ist da, dass man aus Fischabfällen, aus Fish Waste and Algs, dass man hier eben einen Flüssigdünger herstellen kann. Aber das allein reicht nicht. Man braucht auch Bakterien für andere Bereiche, für Kompost, für Bokashi, zum Mulchen. Also es ist mehr, man braucht mehr. Und der Austausch hat unwahrscheinlich viel gebracht. Für mich und auch für die Leute, die hier schon was machen. Und ich denke, das ist so der Start, um einfach für Eritrea den bestmöglichen Dünger herzustellen, mit den bestmöglichen Mikroorganismen von Deutschland. Und in der Kombination mit den Mikroorganismen aus Eritrea über die Pflanzen.
So how long do you think that Eritrea, it will take Eritrea for this thing to jumpstart?
Das hängt von der Regierung ab. Also man könnte sofort einfach anfangen, can begin now. Also wir können sofort beginnen und es ist auch wichtig. Und ich denke, mit Aufbau einer Produktionslinie ist es innerhalb von ganz kurzer Zeit, sobald die Produktionslinie steht, sobald das Gebäude steht, könnte man mit meiner Hilfe und mit Hilfe von Tesfaye, könnte man innerhalb von 6 Monaten, könnte man nach meiner Meinung anfangen.
What Eritrea is trying to do is in connection with our strategic framework, FAO strategic framework, the 4 betas: better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life, letting no one behind. So this subject of improving soil health through organic fertilizer and improving actually soil organic carbon or soil organic matters, it helps to boost production, it helps to improve nutrition, it helps to keep environment in good shape, and it helps to make people living in a very, very good health. It's improved livelihood of communities. So this actually shows me through our strategic framework that we will seriously and objectively continue to support, even support more the country toward achieving this vision that is very important for agriculture, that is very important for communities, that is very important to fight against climate change, and this is something that is very important.
My name is Chariton Namwoza. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the National Organic Agriculture Movement of Uganda, commonly known as NOGAM in short. And it's the umbrella organization that brings together all the organic actors in Uganda, the producers, the processors, the exporters, the traders, community-based organizations, NGOs, non-government organizations, government, parastatals, all that have an interest in promoting organic agriculture. We've been in existence for over 20 years, and we were privileged to be part of this conference to share our nearly 22 years of organic industry experience from Uganda, and with the full knowledge that Uganda emerges as Africa's country with the highest number of certified farmers, and also the second country in the world next to India as the country with the highest number of certified farmers. And so with this experience, we are privileged to be part of the first National Organic Fertilizer Conference in Eritrea. And the impression that I got was very exciting because I saw a lot of commitment from the government officials, particularly the ministers from the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Marine, to learn that a minister at that level could participate in every single activity from the very beginning up to the end of the conference, for me, created a very good, impression on me. And I see clearly with this commitment from government and the active participation of the different actors, and as we've already visited some of them, the manufacturers of organic fertilizers, some of the farmers, some of the, academic and research officers. This commitment is a clear indication that Eritrea is on the right track, and that with collaboration between government and the private actors, this country will be catapulted to greater heights in terms of promoting its organic industry. And globally, as I shared, this is where the world is going, because more and more consumers are concerned about their health, they're concerned about the food safety issues, they're concerned about the environmental issues, global warming, climate change. They are concerned about social issues. And so there is a driving force, a community of consumers that are driving consumption and in the direction that Eritrea is taking this country. And as Africa, as an African country, Eritrea has everything it needs to be able to develop this industry. Because life starts in the soil, and they've started well by focusing on what the soil needs to be able to support plants, to be able to support animals, to be able to support humans. This consideration is critical in organic farming, because organic farming thrives on 4 principles. And one of the most important principles is the principle of ecology, where actors or operators are required to mimic nature, do things that help to take nature forward, not to destroy it. And fertilizers as part of nature and working with nature and interacting with nature would be a sure way of taking this industry to another level. So it's generally a good impression, and I've interacted with the ministers one-on-one, I've interacted with the different actors one-on-one. Clearly there is something common. There is commitment and seriousness to take this sector forward.
Eritrea as a country has to continue to move forward. You are on the good path. You have a very good initiative. You have started, actually, what I have seen after 2 years, you have done a lot. It's a very good foundation to go forward. What is needed now is to reinforce partnership with other organizations, partnership with other countries. You have seen that Uganda has a very good experience that they can share with you. FAO has also good experience that can share with Eritrea. We are really ready to support technically, mainly technically, to develop projects toward sustainable soil management, toward improving soil health through programs that we have in sub-Saharan Africa.
نحن حاجة نزاخل لإرترا أب كل زلوا زباتات أب متحات يكون جم بحر يكون أب وين دقاه يكون أب كبسة أب كل حرشات كصفح في حمالتي حاجة نفس كفسب أب أفدق جزء أب عدو أب زبؤ أنت رأى حرشة نؤس حرشة خا عمل جميل محب زل على درجة مالتي نزل نؤس حرشة خا بنؤس يكون نريون إحنا ولا تي باكيجين سيستم ولا تي ناب مأكل عداقة مخد نسو مستقبة مأكل عداقة هنا ون أتحس كان إكسبورت خونون عابي تبغى استفك جبري حجي نحن نتاع إذا رأينا دلوا مالتي حجي كم تقدم توايخا أكون كان كتكيد بتمرت تحزن تكنولوجيا تحزن كسنة مالتي درون أبز حجي زوم من أساس كمان كمية غير كان نتي نعمل حجي نتي كوميدي راديو بانانا راديو خالقون عبد الله كجزء تنايقع جزء تناوحه عبد الله كجزء أتبسله درو تمرتي عراقهم أتيم يوم حاجة قرب حاجة ذات اللي متاعي حد ماشينرين تي بروسيجر ناي مانفاكتشرين كأني إذا اللي مالتي ساتمون بعضهم بكلهم منتج بستغير له سلز كله أمج على شيء تدميره ترى حزبي بزردوا قانقا بنادي قانقا مالتي مادر لانجويج كل بهاراتنا زكافل له ما عد تداليل خدالو حدا خابز نحنا حاجة نسعره زلنا مسرحونكم إيه أفتي مانوال كجبر كله أفتي زل على أناليسيس راح يكون أتوقع نمل نتتحد زل أكال وكأني نتي نيمج على شيء زلوا نزي زتكبرون نتحابريتها بتنسوا زلوا قانقا كم زالوا كجبري سلزي نقدميت الصراحة تبغى سود الوقت عندنا.
Is one part, ein Bereich to feed the bacteria. You must feed the bacteria. The microorganism is one part, but we need a concentrate from the microorganism. From good microorganisms, we need this as concentrate, and we must bring together the mollusks and the microorganism. But I think we can also make mollusks here. We have sugarcane, that's not a problem, and then we can just make. And the concentrate come from Germany, and the bacteria also from the plants from here. And then this together is the best way to bring bacteria to bring life in the soil with good healthy bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
so
I worked with other countries. I worked in Burundi. I worked in Tanzania. Make a training center in Tanzania. Other countries in Africa have the same problems. We have the problems all over the world, but the countries in Africa have the same have problems and with the soil, and we can bring life in the soil. That's the solution for the future.
okay.
This is the only solution.
That's
Really, the only solution.
Learning, continued learning has to happen. There's got to be exchange visits akin to what has happened, where you get experts from Uganda and coming to share knowledge, where you have some of the experts from Eritrea visiting Uganda and learning from different processing plants or manufacturers of organic fertilizers, manufacturers of different products, all sorts of products, interacting with the government official. Like in our case, we've learned that you cannot do this as private sector alone. You need government as a key player. And the role of government is to put in place a conducive regulatory environment. We engaged the government for 15 to 16 years, convincing them to put in place a national organic agriculture policy and later on an organic law. This took 15 to 16 years, but they finally did in 2019. And from the time the National Organic Agriculture Policy was passed, there's been a lot that has happened in a short time. We've had manufacturers of fertilizers, organic fertilizers. We've had different, investors joining the industry with the confidence that the government of Uganda is on board. So there has to be continued facilitation and the participation of the different actors, including government. It's not to be left to the private sector alone, or it should not be left to the government alone. There has to be a private-public partnership, and there's got to be the involvement of the key stakeholders and each one playing their role. The farmer should be supported, the processors should be supported, the exporters or traders should be supported, civil society organizations that share knowledge on different aspects of farming or value addition or should be brought on board. Government should play its role in putting in place policies and regulations and laws that are critical in regulating and protecting the industry, the organic industry. That way, the sector will move forward. And one last thing, the organic market is a key driver of all other processes, because a farmer at the end of the day is looking for a market where to sell his product so that they can earn. The exporter or processor is looking for a market where to sell his product so that he can make a profit or make money. Government needs revenue. So there has to be some focus on developing the market. And this market should not only be domestic. We're not talking about only the Eritrean market. We should explore the Eastern African market, where Uganda, is part of the region, and Eritrea is part of the Eastern market. We can explore other regional markets, North American market, South African market, the Central African market, trade within Africa. Between Eritrea and Uganda, between Eritrea and Sudan, between Eritrea and selling organic products, and we can work towards building these market structures. And then we should also explore the international market. There are consumers in Russia, there are consumers of organic products in China, consumers of organic products in Japan, consumers of organic products in the States, consumers of organic products in the European Union as a bloc, different countries, German, France, Italy, and others. And there are key international activities like the biggest organic fair in the world. Eritrea can participate, can send some participants. It takes place every February in a city called Nuremberg in Germany, every February. And Uganda participates in a big way. And all other actors, 80% of the organic actors across the world attend this trade fair. It's the biggest in the world, and it's a must attend for Eritrea and other countries that want to focus on organic farming. So this is my last message, and to summarize it, there has to be commitment, continued commitment and participation by government. The private sector has to be supported to participate. There's got to be continued learning and sharing experiences between different countries, between Eritrea and other countries. There has to be a clear focus on market development, because that's what drives the sector, the development of the sector. A farmer is looking for a market, a processor is looking for a market, an exporter or trader is looking for a market, and everyone, including government, is looking for that revenue. That revenue only comes when there is someone out there who is buying the organic products that we are producing, and there is revenue that is generated in the process.
نحن حاجة نزاخل لإرترا أب كل زلوا زباتات أب متحات يكون جم بحر يكون أب وين دقاه يكون أب كبسة أب كل حرشات كسفاح في مالتي حاجة نفس كفسب أب أفدق جزء أب عدو أب زبؤ أنت رأى حرشة نقص حرشة خم عمل جميع مخابز لعلى درجة مالتي نزل نقص حرشة خان بنقص يكون النوريون إحنا ولا تي باكيجين سيستم ولا تي ناب مأكل عداقة مخاد نسو مستقبة مأكل عداقة هنا أول أتحس كان إكسبورت خونون عابي تبغى استفك جبري حجي نحن نتاع إذا رأينا دلوا مالتي حجي كم تقدم توايها أكون كان كتكيب بتمرت تحزن تكنولوجيا تحزن كسنة مالتي درون أبز حجي زوم من أسياس كمان كمية غير كان نتي نعمل حجي نتي كوميدي راديو بانانا راديو خالقون عبد الله كجزء تنايب جزء تناوحه عبدالله كاجزي أتبسله درو تمرتي عراقهم أتيم يوم حاجة قرب حاجة ذا اللي متاعي حد ماشينرين تبي بروسيجر ناي مانفاكتشرين كأني يزلي مالتي ساتهم بعمم كلهم مو تبغى استهتجر له سلزق كله أمج على شيء تدميره ترى حزبي بزردوا قانقا بنادي قانقا مالتي مادر لانجويج كل بهاراتنا زكافلوا له ما أدخ تداليله خدالوي حدا خابز نحنا حاجة نسعره زلنا مسرحونكم إيه أفتي مانوال كجبر كله أفتي زلا على أناليسيس راح يكون أتوقع نمل نتتحد زلا أكال ويكأني نتي نيمج على شيء زلوا نزي زتكبرون نتحابريتها بتنسى زلوا قانقا كم دارو كجبري سلزي نقدمي تسرح تبغى سود الوقت عندنا.
I came this side of Massawa. First of all, I know that I'm coming to see what you have done in terms of industry, in terms of producing organic fertilizer, liquid fertilizer and solid fertilizer. This was impressive. You have started a brilliant initiative, and you are on a good path. But on the other hand, I have also got opportunity to learn the history of this country, the history of this area, a very rich history actually that I didn't know before. I may confess I didn't know before, but it brings it brings more respect to this country. On tourism side, actually, it is also wonderful. That's why I was asking how the Ministry of Marine Resources is working with the institutions of tourism, because I have seen that there is a huge potentiality for tourism, huge potentiality, and I think that this has to be developed more to make the country shine outside when you get enough tourists coming here.
With Humus, mit humusreichen Böden, mit rich humus, wir speichern unwahrscheinlich viele Mengen an CO2 in diesem Humusboden, während bei konventionellen, also Fertilizern, über 600 Tonnen werden abgegeben in die Luft an CO2. Und humusreiche Böden speichern Unmengen, tonnenweise Tonnen von CO2. Und das ist einfach eine Botschaft auch für die Zukunft. Wenn wir weltweit Humus aufbauen, werden wir unser Klima so weit entlasten, dass wir keine Probleme haben. We have no problems with the climate.
The North American market, the European Union market, Asian markets, Middle East, all these countries, I have spoken to men and women in the name of buyers or consumers that constantly demand for organic products. And the kind of products they're asking for are these products that we are growing here in Africa. And with the full recognition that 80 to 90% of the African farmers are smallholder farmers, and they're involved in what we call traditional farming practices, which are 80%, more than 80% close to what a typical organic farmer should be doing, because this is knowledge that has been transferred from generation to generation. So it's not new. The concept is not new. It's 80% close to what the organic standard requires a farmer to do. The four principles that I told you about, the principle of health, the principle of ecology, the principle of fairness, and the principle of care. These are not new things that a farmer in Africa, a traditional farmer in Africa, is saying. So by having a blueprint, a clear plan of where Eritrea needs to go, and with the full recognition that the farmer, who is an important partner in this process, and the most important partner in this process, who will be doing fish farming, or who will be doing crop production or animal production already has some knowledge and understands that it's a matter of placing an emphasis on some of the things that the organic standard requires to be able to qualify and be certified fully as an organic farmer, and that with the support from government in terms of certification, support from the trainers in terms of what a farmer needs to do, this is going to be an easy ride. And yes, Eritrea embarks on this journey several years after Uganda and other countries around the globe have, progressed. But with the commitment that I see, it's going to be much shorter. It's going to be speedy. It's going to be faster for Eritrea to get to a place where Uganda, for instance, is, where you have a mature industry, where you have exporters who are bulking or buying from farmers, smallholder farmers, and adding value either by processing or just bulking and packaging, where you have traders or agents of buyers, where you have different actors. The moment these actors come together, it's going to be faster. And with certification, it's going to be even more realistic in terms of taking this sector forward.
The first one is to say thank you. The second is just to congratulate you because you are taking a very important initiative that is necessary for the development of the country. The last message is to say, I have seen in you the goodwill, and I wish you the best. You will succeed, for sure, because you are on the right path.
እዞም ሳና ዝቆነዩ ድማኒ በዚ ናይ ዝቐረበ ብክልቲኡ ሚኒስትሪ ዝቐረበ ምድላዋት ብጣዕሚ እዮም ተመሲጦም ኣቀራርባ ጋሻ ወዳድርቲ የብሉን ትሕዝቶ ናይቲ ኮንሰፕት ከዓኒ ዓብዪ መሰጠ ምክንያቱ ዓብ ሓበሬታ እዩ ኣዋሃሊልና ዘለና ማለት እዩ በዚ ከዓኒ ምስ ተቃልሐ ኩሎም ሳቶም እውን ኣብ ዓዶም ምስ ተመልሱ እውን እቲ ዜናታት ከቃልሑ እዮም ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ንሕና ካም ኤን ሲ ምክንያቱ ኣብ ዓድና ንኩሉ ነገር ባይታ ጣጢሕሎ ማለት እዩ ካብዚ ተበጊሶ እውን በዚ ኣጋጣሚ እውን ፃውዒት ገብሮም ዘሎ ንኩሎም ኣብ ሕርሻ ክዋስኡ ዝደልዩ ደቂ ሃገር ኤርትራውያን ወይ ከዓኒ ካልኦት እውን ተላልዮም ኮይኖም ከውፍሩ ዝደልዩ ንባህርያዊ ድኹዒን ምስ ዝደልዩ ኣብ ባህርያዊ ኣብ ኦርጋኒክ ፋርሚንግ ኣብ ባህርያዊ ሕርሻ ክዋስኡ ንዝደልዩ ሓደ ዓብዪ ተበገስታት ወይ ከዓኒ ቀረብ ናይ ድኹዒ local produce ዝኾነ ተዳልዩሎም ኣሎ ማለት እዩ
In Asmara I see a nice town with old buildings from Italian. I love this, it's very nice. And on the way I see mountains, that's very good. The combination. And now here we have Mediterranean climate, and you have the water, and that's especially for Eritrea or for this country. And I am a man, I love nature, and I think if visitors come from Europe or other countries to Eritrea, they see that you have more climate zones, you have many nature, and you can all do what you want to your holidays. Very nice country to make holidays here, or also business.
I have a very good impression about the Eritrean people. From the reception that has been accorded to me and my other fellow guests, I feel there is a lot of peace in this country. It's the one country in Africa where you can walk on the street anytime without seeing a man in uniform, without seeing a gun, and people are minding their business. And they are willing to help when you ask. And sometimes the language is a barrier, but if there is someone within, let's say, that place who speaks English, they'll quickly come up because they can recognize you. I look different from Eritreans, so they can tell this is a guest. But clearly, that impression for me is going to be a lasting impression over my entire, the rest of my life. And number two, the diversity of the food that we've been served speaks a lot to the rich culture of Eritreans. From injera, which I have eaten from day one when I came on Monday this week, which I know I'm going to have even for dinner, and I will happily have it, up to when I leave on Saturday tomorrow. So the food, the richness, the culture, the warmth of the Eritrean people, the kindness, the peace, all these different elements make Eritrea a different country in Africa. And this is a completely new experience for me because I have traveled quite extensively within Africa and outside Africa. The warmth of the Eritrean people has touched my heart. And earlier today, this afternoon, I had the experience, the very first experience of floating on the Red Sea. And I had about 6 Eritreans that made sure I learned, and they were available. They encouraged me with some bit of fear, and you know, the imagination that you can float on water for me was a total contradiction, that one can float on water and enjoy as though they are on their bed. For me, it's an experience, the best gift I got, and I'll put it in the organic language, the best organic product I am taking away from Eritrea, and certified to different standards, international standards, EU, Japanese, whatever, and African and Eritrean organic standards. That is something I'll forever tell my wife and children, and I'll forever tell my grandchildren. This is the first of its kind, and it's all because of the warm reception and the kindness of the Eritrean people. And last but not least, I had a great experience in the museum where I learned that within the museum they have a skull of the one of the earliest men in the world 1 million years ago. Completely new, an amazing experience. And all these wars that Eritrea has gone through, all the past 400 years with the Turkish, with the Italians, with the British, and with the neighbor Ethiopia, and the wars that you have fought to liberate the people of Eritrea and the country, the sovereignty of this country. For me, all these are amazing experiences that I'm taking back home. And it's all because of the warm reception and the kindness and the uniqueness of the Eritrean people.